Hello and welcome back to Calradia Expanded at War, and we're currently speaking to Ciaramus here because I actually wanted to try and persuade him to join us. It's very rare that I actually do get an opportunity to go through to the conversation menu, so obviously he doesn't have a very good relation with his current liege, which I believe is Melodier at the moment, so it might be that they are at loggerheads with each other and they just don't like one another. So this is a good opportunity for me, but unfortunately the first option, as you can quite clearly tell, is 24% for a critical success. So it's highly unlikely this is going to work. Wow, it was actually a critical fail. A 9% chance for a critical fail, and boom. The critical fail literally booted me out of the conversation to begin with. That has to be one of the greatest fails I've ever seen. Apart from me falling off a wall and dying from the resulting damage. Yes, okay, never mind. Okay, so we're just going to auto-resolve against this guy. I'll let him go because he does, yet again, have an extreme amount of negative relation with us at the moment, and obviously there's not much I can do about that at the moment. We just kind of have to deal with it and then move on. Now, I did say in the previous episode that I was going to take a look at the forest people. Well, it's been a while since I, yep, indeed. Yeah, it's been a while since I executed more of those guys, and yes, that is indeed the case. So I'm actually wondering, I think this is happening because we don't have birth and death enabled. Because obviously I disabled that for this particular series because I wanted a bit more of a static experience. But here's the thing with that. Even if you decide as the player that you want to execute people and eliminate them from the game, they are not truly gone, because then they're going to be getting more and more and more people to join their faction, or in this case a minor faction. So in my opinion, I don't know if I agree with that, but obviously do bear in mind that we did disable, you know, birth and death and all that stuff. So it kind of makes sense that they would replenish their ranks, but it also kind of makes me a little bit, it makes me feel a bit cheated, because on the one hand, I have the opportunity to execute. I mean, here's the thing, if I disable, you know, birth and death, then I would assume that the execution, or the ability to execute, would also be disabled, and it would not allow me to do that. But that is not the case. They do allow me to do it, and they do allow me to completely destroy all of my relations with basically everyone. So, yeah, that is a little bit of a shame, in my opinion. That is a bit of a shame. Oh, well, never mind. Can't really do much about it right now. So, I guess we're just going to have to continue letting people go, and so on. But, as I say before, I personally feel like these kinds of situations, I feel like they are kind of restricting your choice as a player. Because bear in mind, if you think back to Warband, I mean, obviously if you haven't seen any of my series on Warband, then you will not know this, but there are a lot of different examples of mods in Warband where they would allow you to execute enemy forces. And I believe Nova Airtus is one of those, because what you can basically do is you can sail over to the you know, the new world, as it were. You can sail over there, and then you can meet the Aztecs. The Aztecs are literally a faction in that mod, and you can try to, you know, take over their lands if you want to, because that is probably the easiest way to create a new faction in Nova Airtus, because the Aztecs, while they have a lot of people, they do have very limited equipment, and they are scary. Do bear that in mind. They are formidable opponents, but they are a lot easier to defeat than many of the other factions in the mod. So obviously there are going to be those kinds of situations where you think to yourself, okay, yeah, I should probably, you know, try and eliminate these guys, try and expand my territory this way. I'm actually going to jump off here because I really do not want to deal with the enemies at the top of the ladder there. But yeah, as I was saying, And that actually gives you the opportunity to execute enemy lords, right? So you could execute enemy lords, enemy vassals, anyone you want. Obviously, you're going to be getting a relation hit. They are going to all very much not like you. Your honor is going to go down. Your honor rating is going to go down. And so on. And of course, as you know, Warband does not have a birth and death system. You will not kill enemy vassals in that game. Generally, if you attack them, you know, thousands of times over, which sometimes you probably will, you know, that will happen over the course of a campaign, I suppose, dependent on your progression in that particular save. But yeah, you gotta bear in mind that obviously then you're the only one that can execute, and it gives you that freedom to decide, do I want to live with the consequences of my actions, you know? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. It's all about player choice, and I always think, you know what? The Mount and Blade franchise is, in my opinion, one of those games that is absolutely chock-a-block full of player choice. And in my opinion, that's what the game does very well. Or at least it used to. I mean, in Warband, obviously, it used to give you a whole wide variety of different options. Unfortunately, that was mostly due to mods. You know, I'm talking about Britain-Wilder here, talking about Viking Conquest. Obviously, Viking Conquest was well, technically, I'd say it's an official mod. I wouldn't say it's an expansion as such, because generally it's made by a modding team, but they were employed by Tailworlds to make a better version of Britain-Wilder, basically, because Britain-Wilder was the free mod, basically, that you would be able to play, and that came out way before Viking Conquest, and then they started working on Viking Conquest, and then that came out. And so, anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is, in that mod, in Britain-Wilder, you had so many different options when it came to besieging fiefs. And these options were fantastic. You could poison the enemy's water supply, you could send scouts ahead, you could besiege them in such a way so that their supplies would run out. But you've also got to bear in mind that this is Warband we're talking about, and Warband generally did not do the whole starvation thing very well as a whole. But it actually did do it very well in Britain-Wilder, because many of the fiefs that you'd actually be besieging most of the time, they would not have an extreme amount of food supply in their garrison. And that is because the developers of that mod, they knew, hey, maybe players want the opportunity to be able to, you know, starve out the enemy garrison, to force a surrender to happen. And in my opinion, that's super cool, no? I think that's super cool. Maybe you don't, but generally, I think the ability to have the player decide where they want to go and what they want to do and how they want to approach a particular problem, in my opinion, that's super fun. I'm going to decline this because I actually want to see where this goes. Should I actually put some money in here? I'm going to put some money in here just to kind of help them out a little bit. I mean, you can see the loyalty is absolutely awful. But, oh yeah, that's actually something that I wanted to mention as well. You are 100% correct, and thank you for reminding me about this. But there are a bunch of policies that I was not taking that actually do improve your loyalty and offset the problem of the culture difference. So it basically makes it possible for you to increase your loyalty at a particular town or castle or whatever without having to really lose that much. For example, forgiveness of debts. If you take a look here, settlement loyalty is increased by 2 per day. This is absolutely insane. This basically already completely eliminates most of the loyalty deficit that you're going to get from having a different culture. And in my opinion, that's super nice. There's also one here. Town loyalty is increased by 1. Tribunes of the people. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. Then you also have this. Imperial towns. Towns held by the ruler clan gain 1 loyalty and 1 prosperity per day. And towns held by non-ruler clans lose 0.3 loyalty per day. I mean, that's a really good, shall we say, disadvantage for the advantage that you get. And I mean, obviously, we own most of the towns, so it doesn't really make that much difference. But thank you for reminding me about that, because that was definitely something that actually is going to change my mind about that whole thing. Because I was talking about how the loyalty system is a little bit... it could use a little bit of tweaking. And someone actually mentioned in the comments as well, by the way, that I think this is a really good idea from you, by the way, that the longer you own a town, the more trusted you become as their pseudo governor, I guess you could kind of call it. And I like that quite a bit. I like that idea, because now here's the thing. I'm mainly talking about, when I say about this whole loyalty system, I'm mainly talking about being a vassal. Because this comes down once again to the question of player choice. Because if you think, okay, what am I going to do with this particular situation? I'm not talking about the one, to vote for Druamore Castle right here. I'm thinking I'm actually going to give it to this guy. Because Mr. Blacktooth, he is, I think he probably needs something, right? He probably needs something. So I'm going to give him this. And if people don't like that, then that's their prerogative. But anyway, the main reason why I was talking about the loyalty system was because as a vassal, you don't have the opportunity to institute these policies very easily. You need a lot of support within the faction to be able to do that. And most of these policies, if you take a look at them, most of them that give you loyalty, like for example, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. Forgiveness of debts is one of the best, because it doesn't require you to own a town, it doesn't require you to be a part of the ruler clan or anything like that, and it really makes a huge difference. Tribunes of the People, on the other hand, this is something that is never going to be voted for by the ruler himself, or herself in the case of Regea, of course, because this is going to reduce their taxes, and they're never going to do that, but maybe they will, I don't know, it very much depends on their personality type. Then you have Imperial Towns. Obviously, this is not going to work if you are not part of the ruler clan. And then otherwise, I don't think there are any others. I think there might be some, but I didn't really find any others there. So there might be, yeah, like for example, this is really good, but bear in mind there's zero support for this at the moment. I can push this through if I want to, but do I want to? That is the point. I guess. Why not? Let's just push it through. And 0.5 increased loyalty. But this is the point. As I'm saying here, vassalage is very difficult, in my opinion, to maintain your loyalty status with a particular town or with a particular fief. And let's say you're awarded a fief in, I don't know, let's say you're playing as the Khuzait and you're attacking the Southern Empire, or something like that. And let's say that you take something. Let's say you take, I don't know, one of their towns. Well, as a vassal, unless your faction already has these policies implemented, and also we are going to be absolutely murdered if I allow this to happen. Okay, yeah, let's just move away here real quick. I'm going to actually attack Mengus right here because he is out on a limb. Thank you very much, sir. And, but yeah, let's say you attack that as a vassal. It's going to be very difficult for you to maintain your loyalty over this fief without, as I said before, without going through some rather tedious steps. In other words, finding a companion that is the same culture as the fief that you are now owning, and so on. There's a lot of different reasons why the vassalage thing is kind of annoying, and that's also, again, harking back to player choice. I think that player choice is paramount. I think they really need to prioritize player choice in this game. This is obviously just a personal opinion. You don't have to agree, obviously. I know a lot of people get kind of upset about when I say these kinds of things, but generally, I think that if the player has a lot of choice, I think everyone's going to have a much more fun time. And I don't think the base default behavior that every single person should have in this game is to create their own faction, because that is a funnel. That is a funnel, and that is not something that I am very much liking the sound of, because I don't want to be someone that has to join this particular thing and do this particular thing exactly as every single other person is doing it. I think the variety of gameplay that you're going to get from having the ability to choose is going to be so much greater than if you were not able to do that. At least that is my thought on it. And as I say, the loyalty as a vassal is just going to go down unless you have a companion and you take care of the town, and the policies might be instituted, they might be not, and then you're going to have rebellions on your hands. And let's say you have multiple fiefs. Let's say you're a trader and you deal with everything has a price, and you try to get these guys, to be on your side and everything, and you try to get them into the best possible situation. It's a terrible, terrible situation to be in, especially with the loyalty. So, I don't know. Maybe one of you has a good idea. I mean, obviously, as you already mentioned, I think a very, very cool idea that one of you said is to increase the loyalty over time for you to own the fief. And I'm not talking about as the ruler here, because obviously as the ruler you can institute whatever you want. You can basically make any policies you like. You can make it very easy for yourself to maintain control over these towns, because your loyalty bonuses are going to be so incredibly dramatic. Whereas as a vassal, it's very difficult. So that is my main concern right there with the loyalty system. It's nothing to do with the fact that the system is bad as a ruler clan, because no, it's not. Obviously, it's perfectly acceptable and actually very very fair. It's a very fair system when you are the ruler, but when you're a vassal, not so much. But yeah, I think the loyalty gain over time, if you own a town, I think that could be super fun. I think that would be super fun, because that demonstrates to the people, let's say you're actually taking care of the town, because this is what I was actually trying to convey in previous episodes. I was trying to say, well, if the occupying force, let's say you're the occupying force and you're taking care of the town in every single way, and you're providing for the people, you're making sure that they're secure, you're making sure they have food, you're making sure that all of that stuff is happening, then their loyalty is inevitably going to go up. And I'm not even talking about loyalty as the dictionary definition here, because obviously they are not going to pledge their lives for you or anything like that. I mean, why would they? They're just regular townspeople, they're just regular citizens. Why would they pledge their loyalty, in a blood oath or something to some random person that they've literally just had their town taken by? That's not going to happen. I'm not talking about the dictionary definition there. I'm talking about the game statistic. You know what I mean? Oh, well, never mind. Anyway, we seem to be actually doing pretty well here in this particular field battle. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. I thought to myself, we might have some issues here, because this army is pretty significant. They're pretty good. They got a good amount of Battanian heroes. They got some Fian champions as well. And they're kind of harsh, They're kind of harsh. So it seems like we're doing acceptably, and much more than acceptably, actually. Yeah, that was a bit of an understatement on my part. Very much so. And there you go. That is indeed a victory. You know what? Okay, someone actually asked what difficulty I'm playing on. Okay, so my difficulty is on max, with the exception of my player damage. My player damage is on half. Mainly because I just don't want to die instantly. You've seen me die very, very fast already, so I didn't want to make that even faster. If you go to the very beginning of the series, you'll see what difficulty settings I'm playing on. Anyway, I'm actually going to continue just letting every single person go now, because there's basically no point in me taking them prisoner unless I want to keep them off the fields of battle, obviously. That is something that we've done in the past, where we have just maintained as many prisoners as we possibly could handle. And that has actually worked out quite nicely before. It's worked out alright, It's worked out okay. Anyway, I'm going to be donating all of that loot for 42,000. Very nice indeed to see that. Then we can gain some upgrades for our troops. That's going to be super nice too. Anyway, do we have any perks? No, we don't have any perks. Yeah, it's taking me a very long time to level up now, by the way. Don't know whether you've noticed that, but it has taken me a very long time to get anywhere with this, and I'm only level 26. And now here's the thing. This is going to be very difficult for anyone to reach when they are playing with regular experience gains. In my opinion, at least. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's easier than I think, because it's been a while since I've actually played without any mods or changes to the game files to make leveling slight bit faster, because obviously I'm making a series, so we don't want it to be stagnant. You know, I've talked about this previously. But that's the point. It is... I don't know. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Maybe they're going to do some tweaking on that. But I hark back to the story that someone said in the comments a while ago, where they were playing for over 1,000 days and they basically just made it to 275 or 300 in trade, and it took them that long to do that. 1,000 in-game days. Can you imagine? 1,000 in-game days to make it to to make it to that trade point. I think that is extreme amounts of time spent, and good on you for your persistence. Really, very much. Good on you for your persistence. But yeah, that was. I feel like that's kind of unacceptable for it to take so long. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But generally, yeah, I feel like that should be a little bit faster. Anyway, let's try and get... I was going for a headshot right there. I really wanted to take this guy out because he's not aiming for me. He's not aiming for me. Never mind. That's a mistake, sir. You should really be aiming for me, sir, because I am going to murder you with a headshot. Never mind. Hit him in the shoulder. There we go. We got him now. Hit him in the neck. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, I'd like to still level up my crossbow skill. I'd very much like to get to 275 if I can. Nice. We're getting a lot of extra headshots right now. Gonna try and take out the ballista, because the ballista... Oh, never mind. He actually did get eliminated. I did not realize that. Okay, let's climb the ladder and see... Oh, actually, never mind. There are barely any units in the garrison here, so I don't even need to worry about that. And there we go. We're done. But yeah, we have full damage to our troops. All that stuff. Full damage. You can see the difficulty at the beginning. Anyway, there we go. We have taken it. And I have way too many prisoners, unfortunately. 12,000. I guess I'll do that. Why not? And, oh yeah, bear in mind... someone mentioned something... Oh, yeah. Okay, so... yes, I do know this. I just don't do it. I don't know why, but generally it's just something that I don't know. I just ignore it, I guess. Because, now here's the thing. Someone said that I can go into my inventory and I can discard some stuff, some armor and things, and that is going to give my troops experience. Yes, indeed, it will. I know this, but generally I tend not to do that, not because I'm... It's just primarily because I really like the ability to make a lot of money in a hurry if I need it. So for example, let's say I speak to someone. Let's say I speak to this guy. Does he own anything? I'm actually going to just see real fast. Does he own anything? No, he owns nothing. All right, this guy owns nothing, but he is the leader of his clan, so I wouldn't mind speaking to him. Actually, can I send a messenger? Yes, I can. He has negative 100 relation. There's no way he's going to be happy with this. Is there? Oh, he is. He's happy to speak to me. Okay, no critical fail. Okay, no critical fail. Phew, that was a close one. Let's see. There is no way. Oh, there's the critical fail. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. I understand. 100%. Okay, so wait a minute. Yeah, let's try and do battle with him if at all possible, but it's highly unlikely I'm going to be able to catch him before he goes into Maranath. I actually wonder who owns Maranath. Maybe I'm going to be able to speak to them and maybe do a little bit of a trade, but it's highly unlikely. Oh, Melodir's army is currently besieging this. Oh, and Eladoran's army is also here. Fantastic. Let's go in, sir. Let us go in and attack them together. Yes. Let's do it. There we are. Okay, let's go for a nice little auto-resolve right there. That should be pretty easy. Yeah, we lost 12 units only. Super, super nice. And we'll be letting most people go. I'd like to try and improve my relation with as many people as possible now. If I'd known that, then I would not have started executing. Yeah, I wouldn't have started that in the first place. Oh well, never mind. I think, can I actually change the birth and death thing? I don't think I can actually change that once the game has actually started, so seems like we're stuck with these settings right now, which is kind of unfortunate, but oh well, what can you do? Alright, let's go through to the vote. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, so we have 100 a relation with all of these guys, so they all are perfectly fine with me executing as many people as possible. Vipon, I believe, wasn't, but he now likes us because we've given him a lot of fiefs. So I suppose that's good. I believe Belgier is relatively close by with Thractorai Castle, so I'm actually going to give it to Belgier here, and we're going to see whether he takes care of it relatively well. Hopefully he will, at least. Now, what I'm actually very much wanting to do is I'd like to speak to Misui, if at all possible. Oh, she has negative 100 relation with us as well. Well, that's not very good. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to go and I'm going to speak to Old Man Byron's friends. He has a very small list of friends, as you can quite clearly tell. Can I get any of these guys to join me? I would like to get Godun to join me. Is he the leader? Yes, he is, but I cannot send a messenger to him at the moment for some reason. What about Olek? He is the vassal of the Southern Empire? Really? Okay, let's send a messenger to him, see if we can do some little speaky time with him. We will speak, and we will hopefully reach a settlement with him relatively soon, hopefully. What about Vilder as well? It seems like people from Sturgia like me quite a bit. That's rather interesting. Vashorki is actually with us, as you can quite clearly tell. He is a vassal of the Bertild sovereignty. Oh, actually, that's something that's someone mentioned. Yes. Okay, Ursine or Ursine sovereignty. I'm gonna go for this because someone actually suggested this, and I liked the name a lot. So we're gonna go for that. Because, well, it's a bear, you know, because Ursine, Ursine, however you want to say it, that is a bear, basically, bear-like or whatever. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? I think that's pretty cool. I think that sounds, I don't know, does it sound better? I'm not entirely sure. I liked BS, but this is actually US, which is us, right? It's us. So I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, let's see, what can we do here? Alright, I can attempt to persuade him. Am I going to be able... You know what? I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to try and buy his fief. Can I actually do that? 1.7 million he wants. Okay, that's maybe a bit too much. Do I have anything else that I could potentially give him that might assuage his fears a little bit? It's not looking good, right? It's not looking good. Maybe Sargeth? Yep, he's perfectly happy to trade Sargeth. But I don't want Sargeth to go anywhere. Should I just spend the 1.7 million? I could do that. Let's do that. And then we're going to ask him to join us. Because obviously we're not at war against... Are we at war against the Sturgians? I don't believe we're at war against the Sturgians at the moment. So that's the reason why we're able to speak to this guy. Are we? Wait a minute. No, we're not at war against the Sturgians. We're at war against Britannia and 2 Empire. And actually, are we? Oh no, I may have made a huge error right now. Okay, so now he's going to join us. So I'm going to give him back... I'm gonna give him his town, and I'm gonna take some of my money back as well. Hilariously enough, this is very funny. Okay, there we go. Yes, there we are. Okay, so now he's now he's joined. No, we are not at war against them. No, we're at war against Vlandia. There we go. So we're not at war against them, but that was pretty cool, no? I feel like that was actually a pretty cool way to go about things, because now we have the opportunity to continue doing our thing. Okay, so I'm actually wanting to speak to Yorick. Did I send a messenger to him? I think didn't I send a messenger to him? I didn't? Okay, I'm going to send another one then. Or maybe he's just really far away. Okay, there we go. Okay, now let's take both of his things. I'm going to pay him 2 point. No. No, sir. No, sir. Should I? Should I literally pay him 2.9 million for this? Yeah, you know what? I kind of want to see what happens, and I'm wanting to play a bit risky right now. He's in an army, so I will not be able to... No. I will not be able to speak to him to persuade him to join us. Well, that is obviously not going to be too good, is it? But we have now gained these fiefs, which is fantastic, because the Sturgians are very weakened at the moment, and there's not much that I can really do to... well, to help them, basically, because, I mean, why would I? Why would I want to do that? Oh, yes, this is actually... Can I speak to him? This is a... Isn't this a rebel? Head of the Chells clan, a noble family of the realm? Really? This is the first time I've heard of this guy. Kind of weird. Okay, Olek, I can maybe speak to you, sir. He's happy with his current liege. Do you own anything? Yes, you own Argeron. Yes, you own Argeron, don't you? Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to trade him for anything. I mean, I could potentially trade him for this, but why would I do that when Van Overpool is in a pretty good strategic location? I don't see the point for that. But I might be able to trade the castle. What about the castle for the castle? That's seemingly pretty decent. Yeah, Argeron's not looking good at all. So what about the castle? And I'm going to take his money as well, because for no reason. Just for no reason. And there we go. Okay, so now we have that castle. Where is that castle, though? That is the thing. Because if that castle is way... Oh, yes. This castle is basically done. There is nothing I can do about that. That is going to be taken no matter what. Oh well, this is what the current map looks like. I'm hoping that what I'll be able to do after I've eliminated the Botanians, if I can actually eliminate the Botanians, I'm going to do a little bit of progression off-screen, because I'd like to try and take some of these towns, and I think we've seen most of their sieges. Don't think we've seen Maranath yet, and I don't think we've seen Dunglanis. We've seen Pen Cannock. I failed super hard there in the previous episode, so I'm going to try and do a little bit of damage there. Maybe we'll be able to take it. How many do they have? They have 625 there. That's extreme amounts of units, but maybe we'll be able to deplete their numbers a little bit by just going in, eliminating some, and then, you know, retreating and rinse and repeating, you know, doing that sort of thing. So hopefully that's going to work. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time.